take a look at what's going on in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina right now, a Donald Trump event, and he has been really taking on broadsides from no less than the President of the United States last week, who said that the American people could never support him for president. Then the Pope weighs in, and he's still firing on all cylinders, still doing well. Now, there is what some people are calling this outlier Wall Street Journal poll that seems to show that lead getting very, very narrow in South Carolina. A Trump supporter, Brad Thomas, with us on the phone. I think, Brad, that poll, I'll say for the time being, is an outlier. It doesn't jibe with others that I've heard and seen. Still, are you worried that maybe all these attacks from the president to the Pope to everyone else are beginning to pile on here? What do you think?
Well, Neil, thanks for letting me be on the show here today. And full disclosure, I've been working on a book with Trump for about 3 years now. So this is a business book, not a political book. And you're right, I am. I'm also certainly helping him with the campaign here in Myrtle Beach today.
Okay, but what do you think of this narrowing in the polls?
Sure. Well, you know, I really think it's been interesting. I mean, Rubio has definitely gotten some support with some pretty critical allies here in South Carolina. But I'll tell you, Trump is still looking pretty strong here. I mean, I don't listen to these polls a whole lot myself personally, but I do feel like he's in pretty good shape here. It's really resonating across South Carolina. But you're right, it is getting tight.
You know, I always wonder, I noticed today the Pope himself, or at least his emissaries from the Vatican, were trying to dial this thing back, saying, no, we didn't mean to say that Donald Trump isn't Christian. Or I read between the lines there, like even the Pope felt he might have gone overboard there. And Donald Trump has dialed back his criticism of the Pope. I don't, you know better in this sense. Do you think there was a concerted effort to sort of take the heat out of this?
You know, I've known Mr. Trump now for a number of years, and looking at it from that particular angle, I think, in all the media that I've read and heard, I think it was a little bit of an overreaction in what the Pope said, but I think it plays well into Donald Trump. And again, I've known Trump for a number of years, and really I can speak highly of the values of Donald Trump today. And that's really, I think, what I would again bring to the table here is he is a Christian. I'm a Christian, and I think it's important that that message has been pretty clear out here, at least in South Carolina where I live. So. Again, I think that I think that was a little bit of an overblown, and I think both the Pope and Trump handled that well.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I also know, and again, you've worked closely with Donald Trump for a while now, that he's kind of bulletproof when it comes to this sort of thing. And I would imagine, maybe taking a leap here, this kind of an altercation with no less than Pope Francis might help him among those conservative voters in that state who maybe recognize the Pope as leader of the world's 1.5 billion Catholics, but he isn't the leader of all Christians. So they might kind of wince at the Pope saying that kind of stuff. So it actually could help Donald Trump, right?
Absolutely. I mean, he loves, he's a builder, and that's what I'm writing about, Donald Trump, the builder. And, whether it's building the bridge or building a wall, I think the Pope was alluding to the bridge, and Trump is obviously alluding to the wall. So I don't think it's an either-or question here. I think it's not multiple choice, and so I think Trump is certainly is making this wall discussion a lot bigger, and that's the discussion that really it needs to have. And these candidates have obviously brought that to the table too. So immigration is a big issue for Trump, as it is for the whole campaign. So absolutely, I think it's actually helped him a good bit.
All right, I always think, too, if a guy's good at building walls, that is Donald Trump, I'm thinking of the pearly gates, he would be equally effective at building or upgrading the pearly gates. So that's a win-win, if you will. Brad, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much for your good humor as well. Brad Thomas. All right.